Alright, it's finally time to talk about the LG L90. And this is going to be the review, so we're going to run down a few things of pretty much hardware, software, battery, and other things, such as how it feels in the hand and some other little small quirks I've had about it. So first, let me start talking to you about the hardware. And let's run down the specs one more time. This old Android 4.4.2 KitKat, 4.7 inch screen, 1.2 quad core Qualcomm CPU, 1 gig of memory, and the internal RAM is actually 4 gigs of internal storage stock, with an SD card external to make up the difference. So however big you want it, up to 32 gigs SD card. The hardware, it actually is not too bad. It's nothing to write home about. I mean, it's pretty much your usual mid-end specs for an Android phone with 1 gig of memory, 1.2 quad core. I mean, you automatically think it's really not going to be much, but in actuality, it's not bad. Oh, I didn't even mention the camera. The camera is a 5 megapixel on the rear with LED flash and a VGA front camera. And just want to throw that in there. We're going to talk about the camera in a little bit, but for now, the form factor, the bezels are not too big. The buttons are placed pretty well. They're a little bit too in there. They're a little bit too flush to the size of the phone here. I preferred it to be sticking out a little bit more. When I'm playing music, I have to actually look down at this phone in order to get my volume buttons, because it's so flush to the side. And the fact that they have the quick button, the quick shortcut button here, which opens up the memo app, or can open up anything you want actually, but it's right there where you think the volume button would be, but it's not. So you end up hitting that instead of the volume button if you're not looking. So the middle button has a nice click to it, has a nice click sound to it, has a nice tactile feedback, I guess you can say. And the other two are touch sensitive buttons, the menu and the back key. So it feels good in the hand. The back is a self-healing, it's supposed to be the LG self-healing back. I don't know. To me, it's still kind of a gimmick, like it was the first time I heard about it on their higher end LG phone. They started this, and I don't know. I don't think much of it at all, actually. It really doesn't do anything for me. It feels good in the hand, and it's been a while since I've held a phone that's less than 5 inches. You all know I have a Life 1X. I still have one, and it's been a while since I've had a phone that was this size, and it feels really good in the hand. Really good at all. But that's about as much I want to talk about the hardware, because everything else I need to say about this phone, and what really makes this $48 phone. Yes, I actually got this for less than 50 bucks, brand new at T-Mobile, no contract. It was part of a summer deal that the guy told me they selected at random. Whether that's true or not, I don't know, but I fell into that supposed random category where I got the phone for $48 instead of, I think it was about $90 or so, which would be the finance deal, because we all know T-Mobile doesn't have any contracts anymore. So that would be the finance price, and they'll add $1 to my bill every month, because this is a cheap phone. This is meant to be a budget phone. You can find this phone brand new off of Amazon for less than $150, maybe I think it's like $120. So very, very budget in phone, and I got this phone on a deal from T-Mobile for less than 50 bucks. So there you go. And so that's why I found this to be such a huge deal, that I got so much with this phone. About the things to note about the software, there's only two of them. One is the multitasking feature that's built into the LG phone, and the other is the quick remote. So the LG L90 actually has a multitasking feature where you see me click on the calculator, and now I'm clicking on the top area. If I can get it to work, there it goes. And what you're seeing is you're actually able to put 2 apps floating onto the side of the phone, and those apps will stay there until you actually close them. You can use them while using other apps in the background, and it's a pretty neat feature, and it works really well. And I was surprised to find this on the phone. Only had 1 gig of memory to be so fluid, and not really have any lag at all while using this feature. So I was able to bounce in and out of apps using this feature, and you see me here. I was able to open up my Valkyrie Crusade while still having these apps floated to the side, and there was absolutely no problem at all. Now on the quick remote, this is one of those apps that for many is going to be gimmicky, and for some might be of use. I really don't know who those sums are. The quick remote wasn't all that. It wasn't as responsive as my regular remote. It took a few pushes on a few clicks to actually get the TV to respond. That's even after calibrating it about 2 or 3 times, but it finally did work. So that's pretty much what I want to say about it. If you want your phone to be a remote, well, it won't be a great one, but it will work. So it's a feature, and it's there, and it's a mid-end phone, so not bad at all. I'm going to talk a little bit about the battery. I'm trying to get the actual door off, if it will work with me today. Right, and we have a 2460 milliamp battery. Nice beefy battery back there. It does get warm. I will say that right now. It does get warm. So be mindful of that. On pretty much on several days, pretty much every day since I've had this phone last week, working with it, going to work with it. One day I actually forgot my charger. No big deal. I was able to get through 11 hours. And the phone was down to just about 20%. And that was with moderate to heavy use. I was texting, I was playing a little bit of games, I was playing some music, all kind of things on the phone, taking calls. And it was also pulling down from 6 emails. So yeah, it lasts pretty long. And like I was saying before in the software area, it's almost like the phone was built around the battery. And yeah, this battery is great. Now, as I'm trying to focus on my little Ryu here, the camera, the 5 megapixel shooter on the back is actually pretty quick. If I can get everything into focus, this camera is actually, it can focus pretty quickly, even though my camera that I'm trying to focus on the camera with is not focusing. There we go. You'll see that it's actually pretty fast. So yeah, it's actually not bad. You'll also see that the camera does have some modes here: normal, panorama, sports. Nothing too unique or anything like that or crazy. So yeah, it's pretty decent, and that's pretty much what, like I was saying before. And I just dropped my little recorder. But let's get into the little things I want to talk about. The wireless calling is very clear. For those who do use it, I actually found it to be a very a convenient thing, a very cool thing. When I'm at home, I'm pretty much always on my wireless. So the fact that the phone can just jump on my wireless and start the wireless calling, pretty good. And I found a great use for it. The phone is 4G, is not LTE. I don't know if I said it was in the unboxing, I think I did, but it is 4G, it's not LTE. So on the iPhone X, you have HSPA Plus, which is one tick below 4G. And then now you have on this phone is 4G. You get to a higher end phone and you'll have 4G LTE, which is the fastest speeds T-Mobile has to offer. I think it's close to 20 plus megabits per second or something like that, but whatever. Another things I want to talk about this phone is, well, the internal storage. LG advertises this as having 8 gigs of internal storage. I really have a problem with companies advertising things that are misleading on products. This does not have 8 gigs of internal storage. There's no 8 gigs of storage anything for you to use at all. You have 4 gigs. That's what you have. That's what you're gonna get. 3.9 something of actual usable storage. That's the only thing that should have been on the specs and what have you when they advertise this phone. 1 gig of memory, 4 gigs of internal storage, however they want to put it. You know, it's no reason to say 8 gigs of anything when there is no 8 gigs of nothing on this damn phone, because it's already partitioned out to be used for your system, partitioned out to be used for the memory, partitioned out to be used for yourself. So at the end of the day, there's no 8 gigs, but that's what they put on there, and it's kind of misleading. So if we did have a situation like this with another phone, I can't remember what it was. There was a few phones that had that same kind of misleading thing on the storage space. Just tell people what is the usable storage. That's what they want to know. That's what they're going to understand. When you tell someone 8 gigs, like it was said in all the specs I read for this phone before I went and bought it, it's kind of a letdown when you do something like that. So I hate it. I just had to talk about it. That was one of the things that I really didn't like. The next thing that I found to be kind of a weird situation with this phone, the GPS. The GPS, it locks on most of the time, hence most of the time. And I don't know, some days it locks on very quickly. Other days, especially if I'm trying to use my GPS while driving on the road, it took quite a while to actually lock on, and that's not something I'm used to. The iPhone X was much faster. The GPS was better. This one, not so much. If I do it and I get my directions set when I'm at home, it works fine. If you're trying to do it while you're on the road, it's not as fast. And yeah, and sometimes even when you're standing still, it's still not as fast. So overall, it's slow, and I think that the iPhone X one and many other phones I've had in the past, such as the Galaxy Nexus, very old phone, is better than this. Faster. The GPS is faster than this. So yeah. The last thing I want to talk about this phone is one thing I've actually talked a little bit about already. No notification LED. This took a while to get used to. The phone actually does not have any notification LED. So if you're someone who depends on it, like I did, and I didn't know how much I did until I didn't have it, it took a little while to get used to. Usually I depend on the LED to just tell me when to check my phone, so I don't have to check it all the time. And that's the situation with this one. If you step away from your phone, when you come back, you're gonna have to turn it on. You have to light up the screen and knock on it, as LG says. You have to knock on it, turn it on, so that you could see what messages you have, if you have emails, messages, stuff like that, because there is no notification LED to tell you that there's something there. So when you're away, something goes off, you come back, if you don't check your phone, it could be a while before you notice that you actually do have an email or a message, because the fact that there's no LED notification. And this can actually be a breaking point for some people. I've noticed around the web, they have to have certain things, and a notification LED is actually one of them. And I've been asked about it a few times when I was talking about the Life 1X. So I'm gonna tell you straight out right now, there is no notification LED. So that's something you're gonna have to make do with, and it all comes right back down to the price point. I really don't know how much money you're saving by not including it, but I guess. So in conclusion, really, great phone, low price, updated, and it's pretty fast. It's pretty quick. It's nowhere near as fast as a 3 gig or a 2 gig phone would be with the same software on it, as you already know from the LG G3 and G2 and all that stuff like that. But this is a very good phone. You will not be disappointed if you're just looking for a basic smartphone that has everything you can need and hold you over for a year or more if need be. This is it. You don't have to spend $500, $600, $700 on a smartphone if all you want is a good screen that you can play your media, play your games, have extended storage if you want. You got your SD card, you got a removable battery, you got a big battery, you need good battery life, and you need just some extra features, a little bit extra features on top of that, like the quick button on the side and all the features that come in the settings, such as the nighttime mode, which I wish I could control the timings for, the accessibility controls, all these different things that are packed into this neat little package. It's a great phone, the LG L90. I can't recommend it enough. So yeah, that's it. That's my review. If you guys want to see a comparison to the Blue Life 1X, I will type that up as an article on the website, eshcole.com, a little later on. So stay tuned for that. I will tell you when it's up. All right? Peace out. Hey, you guys have a good one.